Welcome back to another episode of the AJ Sports Podcast. I am one half, Anthony Carboni. To my left is the other half, Justin Vilche. And it's been a week since we last did a podcast, talked about the NHL Free Agency. We've been pretty busy over this past weekend with work and soccer and whatever. But we're back. There's a lot to talk about with these NHL teams, which ones have won, which ones have lost. But first, let's say what's up to Justin. How you doing, bro?
I'm good, bro, dude. Everything's chilling, not much happening. But I mean, that's the off season for you, so we just gotta hang tight for the next NHL season to start. But everything good though. I mean, just hanging in there.
Hanging in there indeed. So, I think we should just jump right into the free agency, I think, and discuss the winners and losers. What is that on your screen? Are those rockets?
Yo, I was just looking at something and then I pressed on it. Okay, yeah,
Also,
yeah.
yeah, his little beach area with the Leafs players. So, unless he wants to throw that back on there, but he's back. Looks like he's with his Matthews poster and his Leafs, all his Leaf stuff. So, I think we should discuss the Toronto Maple Leafs first and talk about what they did in the first day and first couple of weeks or a week or so in free agency. So we want to discuss first Oliver Ekman-Larsson, Anthony Stolarz, and Chris Tanev.
I
I
think
think
I think we'll discuss the free agent signings and then we'll go on from there. So Leafs make some additions. They start off they actually re-signed Joseph Wool to a little contract. I think the AAV was like 3.6 or something. Excuse me, for like the next like 3 years. And then they signed their tandem dude, Anthony Stolarz to a 2-year, $2 million contract per. I think that's a great signing. He could be a tandem 1A, 1B situation with Wool, probably split the games. And now your goaltending is consists of like just under $6 million. So that's great business right there. Then we added more defensive help. We added Chris Tanev on a deal that I think is a little bit long. I mean, he's 34, 6 years. He's gonna be 40.
six
Uh,
times 5.5, I believe, right?
yeah. I'm not really a fan of the term because we know how defensive, like defensively defensive players play, and as they get older, they're not gonna be as useful. So I think 3 years max would have been good, but I mean, he just gave him an extra 3 years. So I mean, sure, Brad, like whatever. Like I'm like sure. And then he brings in Oliver Ekman-Larsson, who I've never rated highly, but I mean he is a Stanley Cup winner. He brings veteranship, and you know what? He actually performed not too bad on the Florida Panthers. So you know what? I will take that. It was a 4-year deal. Yeah, and again brings leadership, veteranship, presence. He knows how to get there. He knows how to win. He's been there, done that. So you know what? I can't complain about that. Then we signed Yanni Hakanpää, and all of a sudden now, apparently that signing just never went through because apparently the Leafs had no updates as to what happened with his knee. He might never play again. This could be a whole Klingberg situation. Now, I don't know exactly what has happened. I don't know if the signing never went through. I don't know if he's a Leaf player. There's been like no news on that, but yeah. So, Brett Treliving, I'm okay with his offseason so far. I mean, it's like I'm not impressed by anything. Like he did the thing he needed to do was address defensive help. Okay, he did that. Whatever. He let Labushkin go. He let other guys go. Like whatever. What I need him to do now is get me a top six left winger. Because we need that, Brad. Brad. We need that badly. Um, Matthew Nyes will probably play line one, whatever with Matthews and hopefully not Marner. But we need a second line left winger, and we clearly don't have one. Nick Robertson doesn't even want to be here, which, I mean, we've discussed before. I don't really care. He can go. I'm not a fan of Nick Robertson. He's been here 4 years and has done nothing. Okay. But again, we need a top six left winger badly. Okay. Easton Cowan's not going to be ready. Okay. Fraser Minton's not going to be ready. Okay. Kelly Yarncroke cannot be our second line left winger. Okay. He's not that guy. Okay. So please. Brad, just do something, okay? Like you're our GM, please help, okay? You address the defense, no more of that. You address the goaltending, no more, okay? You need to give us some offensive help because what let us down in the playoffs was our goaltending and our offense, okay? You address the goaltending, great job. Now we need offense. So I'll
Well,
give him I'll give him so far a C plus.
well said. I think the top six forward situation, that's especially after losing for Tuesday. I think definitely should be a guy on the league, like position that the league should look for in the free agency. But a lot of valuable players that could have been Leafs, were already signed, and we can get into that.
Yeah.
But first, I'll talk about the Toronto Maple Leafs rival, Tampa Bay Lightning. Now, speculation of Steven Stamkos coming back to the Lightning, had all of us wondering, is he really going to resign? Is he going to go to the Habs? Is he going to come home to Toronto? Is he going to go to Boston? Well, we saw before Stamkos made his decision on where he went that the Tampa Bay Lightning traded Mikhail Sergachev to the Utah whatever hockey club. So he's now over there. And then we see that Jake Gensel gets traded to the Tampa Bay Lightning in exchange for a third round pick.
And they
And
traded Tanner Ginot to create cap space.
they traded Tanner Jeannot to the LA Kings. So it looks like they were clearing cap to sign Stamkos. No, because like I said, they traded for Jake Gensel and they signed him to a 7-year, $9 million contract. So that eats up a lot of their money. Now Hedman needs an extension. He gets his extension of 8 mil at 4 years. So Stamkos, after being disrespected with that offer, I want to say it was 8 years at $3 million. He sees his buddy Victor Hedman get paid. He gets will get a bag of 9 mil. And I gotta say, Julian Breezeball, I'm very disappointed in you because you said it was very disappointing that you couldn't reach an agreement. We would love to have him as a Tampa Bay Lightning, and you give him a lowball offer of $3 million. First of all, that is your longest tenured captain, right?
Yeah.
He helped you to a Stanley Cup, 2 actually. He, even in the back half of his career, still putting up 40 goals, over a point per game.
Mm-hmm.
And, he's said in the past he was committed to this team. And now you want to come out and say, we wish we got it done. Meanwhile, you clearly could have and asked Hedman to take a discount because $8 million for a 34, 35-year-old Victor Hedman is a bit insane to me. I'm not going to lie. But you're telling me you couldn't, give Stamkos what he's deserved at least 4 or 5, at least, right? So it's just really, really ridiculous how they're like, oh, we wish we could have kept them, would have been nice. But you proceed to offer him, a low ball amount, right? And then you go trade for Jake Gensel, and then you go sign Hedman to an $8 million contract. So I think that's all bullshit. And we saw in the past with his other negotiation to stay with the Tampa Bay, they had problems before. If you can recall, they had problems before trying to re-sign him again when it came to terms and money. And we saw it unfold here. And now we knew for a fact that he was going to leave the Tampa Bay Lightning.
I think no, actually, I'm not disappointed in Breezeball because I'll tell you this. I think Victor Hedman is more what? Yeah, I think he's more valuable to Tampa Bay Lightning than Steven Stamkos. And I'll tell you why. Victor Hedman, he is the bright spot on that blue line. Okay. He is that main dude on that blue line for Tampa Bay Lightning. If you take Victor Hedman out of that blue line, who do they have? Ryan McDonough and Eric Cernak. It's like, okay, dude. Like, really, like, is that Tampa Bay Lightning defense really gonna be as good as they have been because of McDonough and Cernak as being like their top 2 D-man? No. What they did was they got younger. Okay. Gensel's younger than Stamkos. Okay. And dude, you got to also think about the future. Like, yes, Stamkos is 34, Hedman is 34, which I understand, but you can literally just replace Stamkos with a guy like Gensel. Who are you going to replace Victor Hedman with right now? Who? Like,
Sergachev, you have a point.
what?
Especially because they traded Sergachev, you have a point.
Yeah. So it's like, Eric Chernak's gonna be like the next Victor Hedman. Like you got to keep a guy like Victor Hedman because those don't come often. Those don't come around often, right? So I think with Breezeball's thinking, you could say, okay, well, look, yes, Stamkos was our captain, but on the team, Victor Hedman, like he provides more value than Stamkos for us because he plays defense, he can put up points, and he's a great defender, right? Stamkos, yes, he could put up 40 goals, but we can also just get a younger left winger who could probably score 40 goals for us anyway, because he's playing with Kucherov and Braden Point. So I mean, I can see why fans like you, fans of Stamkos, are disappointed in Breezeball for thinking, oh well, we're just gonna let Stamkos walk and give that exact same money to Hedman. But you also got to think about Hedman is more valuable to the team than Stamkos, and as a defenseman, like he, like let's not forget, Victor Hedman is a Hall of Famer. Like he's gonna be a Hall of Famer. So I mean, he's the most valuable on not the most valuable, but he's the most valuable blue liner on that squad. So I mean, you know what, dude? And you could just get younger by replacing Stamkos. I can see what he was thinking, and I honestly believe it was the right move to sign Hedman long term and to let Stamkos walk. But
And speaking of Steven Stamkos, he made his decision on where he was going to go. He went to the Nashville Predators. Wow.
oh,
We all expected something with Toronto, and he went to Nashville. What, were you going to say something?
no, I'm just reacting to him in Nashville.
Yeah, so he went to Nashville, right? And that deal, to me, looks like it can bite the Predators long term.
Mm,
4 year, 8 million AAV. Whoa, eight. I was saying Stamkos wasn't worth 3 million. He's fourth more, but $8 million. $8 million. It's a lot. But he's on the Predators along with Jonathan Marchessault.
Marshy.
He went to the Nashville Predators. And Brady Shea from the Carolina Hurricanes also went to the Nashville Predators. So they are adding two solid wingers in Stamkos and Marchessault and adding a big body to the blue line who we all know can play great defensively and can also be
He can
productive on the
score.
offense.
Like,
So what are we thinking of Nashville? I think they've done something really well here with
yeah,
this.
I think, I mean, when you just look at the team, like they have an all-star goalie, they have a great defensive core with guys like Yossi and now Brady Shea. You still have Luke Shen there too, who's still a good defensive defender. And then that forward core, like you have Evangelista, you have Ryan O'Reilly, Marshy, Stamkos, Tomas Novak, Gustav Nyquist as well. So I mean, dude, the Predators are looking dangerous. Nashville, I only hear great things about Nashville as a city. So I mean, you know what, dude? Nashville's popping right now. Great city. Great hockey team. It looks like. Barry Trotz is not fooling around. Everybody was like, okay, they might go into a rebuild. Oh, and also Forsberg. They thought, okay, they might go into a rebuild. No. They are here to push for the playoffs and maybe even a Stanley Cup. Because I was not expecting this at all. But I mean, hey man, Predators fans, Nashville Predators fans, bro, they could be excited, dude. Because if I was a fan, bro, I'll be super pumped. Like Marshy and Stammer, like come on, like wow, that's
Another
insane.
good team that in the West that's also upping their blue line. Brandon Montour now with the
Mm,
he goes to the Seattle Kraken out of all the teams. I did not expect that.
no,
$7 million AAV. That's a great signing, I think. He's going to play number one, we assume, with Brian Dumoulin. And I think, like I said,
or
Seattle they want to get back into the playoffs, and I think adding a defenseman who's been all the way there twice and won it, right? I think that will help the
yeah,
team. That'll help the blue line, and great. I mean, it's a great signing. What else can you say?
no, yeah, I think it's a great signing for them. They needed defensive help. It's really only Vince Dunn out there. So I mean, you know what, dude, Justin Schultz. So I mean, you know what, Montour, he can put up points. He can defend as well. So I mean, 7 years at what 7.14. I mean, say less. That's a great signing.
Signed Vegas is Chandler Stevenson to a
Oh
2 year.
yes, I forgot. That's a big signing because he can play all positions.
Yeah, that's a very good
Hmm.
that's a very
I like that signing.
what is going on? They've lost a good players. They might they honestly I hate to say it, they could miss playoffs next year. They don't look that great. They lost Logan Thompson, which we're about to talk about, and they
Hmm.
got a very important goalie, but we'll get right into that in a second. Let's go into where Logan Thompson went. He went to the Washington Capitals in a trade. So the Capitals get who do they have now as their tandem? It's
Charlie Lindgren and Logan Thompson.
Thompson because we already talked about Kemper getting traded to
Yeah,
the
it's okay.
or Dubois. Also, the Capitals get Jacob Chikrin on their
Hmm.
roster. So they're looking really nice too with the ads of Dubois, Andrew Mangiapane, Logan
Chikrin.
Thompson, Chikrin. We talked about this off camera. Like they can push for the playoffs.
They definitely could. Ovechkin needed help big time, and I mean they got him some help. So, but yeah, dude, like the Capitals, like I really don't like the Capitals, but I'll say this, like they like their team now is starting to look real nice. Chikrin, Carlson, Rasmus Sandin out there. Then you have a tandem of Lundgren, who was great last year, by the way, in the regular season. He had like the most shutouts in the league. Then you have Logan Thompson. Then the forward core, you have Ovi, you have PLD, Mangiapane, Connor McMichael. He re-signed for I think like a couple years, couple million bucks. Unreal signing. I really like Connor McMichael as a player. He could score and he could play make. Like what? And he's still relatively young. Um, yeah, and I mean like they were like again, even last year, like they were in a playoffs, but like let's not forget, yes, like they got swept, but they still like had like they fought and fought and fought until the final game of the season and they made the playoffs with like a team that wasn't great at all, really. But now they got even better. I mean, they could be one of the teams in that Metro division who could surprise a lot of teams out there. But I don't know. That Metro division got a lot stronger, man. Like the Devils, who we got to talk about, insane. Rangers still there, Hurricanes, but they're still there. Capitals still there. Flyers, we don't know exactly what's gonna happen. We don't know if they'll probably have a fall off, but who knows with Torts. But yeah, dude, like that Metro division, crazy.
It is insane. I think now we should talk about Vegas signing Ilya Samsonov. What do you think of that?
I mean, they needed a goalie, right? So they went to like the like D tier of goalies. So I mean, congratulations, you're gonna have like maybe 20 games of Ilya Samsonov. He'll probably get injured too. So I mean, and he'll post like an 890 save percentage. So it's okay. How you have fun with that? Because I had my time. It was not fun.
And I want to talk about this particular team that is, ridiculously insane with the way we've talked about them having going into a dark period pretty soon. We were predicting, but it doesn't look like that anymore. The Boston Bruins. The Boston Bruins. Leafs killers.
Yeah.
Leafs killers, man. They, last year were looking to get Lindholm in a trade. He goes to Vancouver. There was talks about a swap going into Boston with Gensel going to Vancouver, etc. with Pittsburgh. He signs to the Boston Bruins, and now they finally have a number one center. I think it was what was it, 5 years, 6 years, something at like 7.5.
Yeah. Something like that. Yes.
So he goes to the Boston Bruins, and they finally get the number one center, along with a Boston Bruins type player, Nikita Zadorov. I mean, that was just insane. Like
Yeah.
he's a
Like.
he just screams Bruin at me like all day, every day. I think that was a great signing by the Bruins, also at a pretty decent deal. And Boston now they look really big on the blue line with McAvoy, with Lohrei, with Carlo, and now Zadorov. They look really good, and now they got their number one center to play with Pasternak. So Boston, man, after we keep saying they're getting older and their time is coming up, I think they could be first in the Atlantic with their team.
I don't know about first in the Atlantic, but I just know for a fact, dude, Lindholm is gonna be like a leaf killer. Like he just screams leaf killer, and it's only a matter of time before like he scores like a hat trick against us in TD Garden. So it really annoyed me as a Leaf fan, being like, okay, dude, here we go again. Like the Bruins getting two top guys, like that are good players and who are just gonna fit so well in that Boston system. Like it's just so annoying. But I mean, Brewers fans gotta love these signings. Like, dude, Lindholm is a proven first line center, and they got him for cheap too. Like it really wasn't that expensive. And then Zadorov, after last season's play, like he deserved the money. So I mean, dude, like it's just like insane as to like how the Bruins continue to do this. Like now that defense, yeah, and like now that defense who completely stopped the Leafs from scoring just got even better now was freaking Zadorov. Now you have like McAvoy and Zadorov on the first pair. Like it's like, dude, like are you kidding me, bro? And then the goaltending, Swayman, okay, obviously, like apparently he's a legend now. And then you also have Corpusalo, who is still good when he plays for a good team. So I mean, like they just got better somehow, and it's really annoying because it's only like you're always thinking, okay, like the Bruins are gonna fall off, the Bruins are gonna fall off, and then they just never fall off. So it's like, okay, dude, now I got to suffer more 5 years, 6 years, but it's okay, man. It's okay. It's okay.
Oh, former Leaf killer going, Jake DeBrusk going to the Vancouver Canucks at a
Yeah,
75.
yeah. Thank goodness.
So, what did you think of that? I mean, now you don't have to deal with him as much.
Yeah.
Your
Only got to
career.
see him like twice, so not like seven,
And
six.
what I found interesting was he said in a quote that he wanted to go to a team that thought they wanted to win, and it kind of threw a little jab at the Bruins, I'd say, with that quote, because Boston doesn't look like a team that can bow out quickly, and he's like he wanted to go somewhere where he knew he can win, and I guess Vancouver spoke to him and were like,
Is
yeah,
is Vancouver really the place you want to go to?
I'm gonna say is are the Canucks really the place to be to win? I mean, they're regressing. They're going to regress this year for sure.
Yeah,
No chance
like
again,
really.
especially with their division rivals adding a lot more forward depth even after they went to the Stanley Cup final. The Edmonton Oilers,
Huh?
those guys are looking really good. The other day, we saw Ryan McLeod get traded for really interesting prospect Matt Savoy,
Yeah.
who really good. Played in a couple games, scored a between the legs goal. I don't know what the Sabres were doing with that. What it like when you saw that? What was your first reaction? I was like,
I was so confused because first of all, dude, the Oilers don't even have a general manager. Like Ken Holland left, and they don't even actually have an actual GM, and they're still fleecing teams. Like, bro, the Sabres are just gonna continue to be either trash or mediocre. Like, I don't know what the plan was. Like, you get Ryan McLeod, who's at best a third liner, okay, and then you trade for him and give up like a young prospect in Savoie, who we've seen, who is actually good. Like, wow, bro, you're muted, bro.
like,
Okay, yeah. There you go. I can hear you now.
but yeah, I was surprised. Like,
Yeah, like what are they doing? And then they just made the Oilers get even better, by the way, who just made to the final. So it was so ridiculous. Like the Oilers just don't even have a general manager and they're still making great moves. Victor Arvidsson on a 2-year deal, $4 million per. Literally, pretty much traded him to the they traded who Fogel. Literally, it was literally like a sign and trade. Fogel goes to the Kings and you get Victor Arvidsson. Dude, I'm taking a healthy Victor Arvidsson any day of the week, bro, over Warren Fogel. Like, let's just be honest. Let's not forget Victor Arvidsson a couple years back. Man was scoring goals for fun. Okay.
then Jeff Skinner,
Yeah.
after getting out by the Buffalo Sabres, he signs a deal for $3 million 1 year with the Edmonton Oilers. So
And
he's
and they re-signed Matthias Janmark on a cheap deal.
yeah, they signed Matthias Janmark, they re-signed Corey Perry, they re-signed Connor Brown. So they got their guys back.
Henrique, he re-signed too.
Ooh, Henrique, yeah, yeah,
And it's
yeah.
like, dude, like Skinner would have been a oh my gosh, a Skinner, Matthews, and hopefully not Marner line. Oh my gosh, that would have fed families, bro. But no, he's gonna be playing like second line with like Dryside. Like, are you kidding me, bro? Like, how is Skinner going to the Oilers like on a $3 million deal? Like, we couldn't have afforded that.
Looks like they can win the Stanley Cup now.
Dude, they're not winning Stanley Cup, bro. Corey Perry's still there. He's not winning no cup.
Just saying on paper, that team now looks,
Oh yeah, yeah.
Stanley
But
for
they
sure.
got better, bro. Like how?
Uh, and then, well, I guess we can talk. Duclair signed with the
Islanders trash.
Tyler Toffoli signed with the Sharks. I really wanted a reunion with Montreal, but whatever. He goes to this shitty team to play with
I
Celebrini.
fought with that.
It's cool. but whatever. Pittsburgh Penguins traded for Riley Smith, so the Rangers or traded Riley Smith away to the Rangers. So the Rangers finally got a right winger who can play with all.
Sure. Like it was really disappointing.
Not, I mean, Chris Drury has done not much to improve this
Yeah.
team. So it would have been a great ad on that top line, but whatever. And then another guy I want to talk about, Tarasenko, going to the Detroit Red Wings. Another Atlantic rival of the Leafs who are getting better. They
Yeah.
lose Perron to the Sens, but they add two-time Stanley Cup champion Vladimir Tarasenko to the Red Wings. What did
Yeah.
you think of that? I thought it was a great deal for
I
them.
mean, I think it was a great signing. They needed someone like Tarasenko. They needed a veteran presence on that forward core. Now to go along with Patrick Kane, by the way. And then you still have to bring Cat. Then you still have Larkin. I mean, I expect them in the playoffs next year. Look, if they're not in the playoffs next year, I don't know what to say, man. Like they traded Wallman away, which was really confusing. I thought he was good for them last year, but I mean, it's whatever. They also have a surplus on goalies, like Alex Lyon, Billy Huso, Cam Talbot,
Jack Campbell.
Jack Campbell. It's like, what is going on there? So I mean, look, if somebody gets injured, they could just continue to flip flop freaking goalies. So
You know what else?
who?
At the trade, if a lot of teams need goalies, they could be the ones to trade and
Who?
get in return.
Yeah. So I mean, you know what, dude? Eiserman might be cooking.
Let's say yeah, they call up Detroit. Hey, can I get Cam and we'll give you a defenseman or
Yeah.
something? You never know. Or a depth forward, you never know. They have the goaltending to do it. But yeah, we have to expect the Red Wings in the playoffs at some point. And next year, this upcoming season, I
Yeah.
think we can. I
I
would
think it's
hope
fine.
Motor City needs to be in the playoffs. It's a
Yeah.
great since we see them. And I take them over Ottawa, Buffalo, and Montreal all day
Yeah.
to make those bottom five teams or four teams.
Yeah, no, like same. Like again, it's only a matter of time, and it's only a matter of time before Detroit sports fans actually start enjoying playoff sports. So I mean, Red Wings. I mean, I haven't seen the Red Wings be actually good and in the playoffs for since when? Like, oh my gosh, almost what, like a decade now? Like, I gotta see some Detroit playoff hockey, man. Like, they're just like iconic, you know. So it's only a matter of time.
And then my Montreal Canadiens end up re-signing Juraj Slavkovsky to an 8-year, $7.6 million contract. I liked the deal. We'll see how it pays off. But in the back half of the season, he started to really play well. I really enjoyed
Yeah,
watching.
he did.
Really picked it up.
He did.
And I think, betting on him now, locking up that core three of Suzuki, Caulfield, and Slavkovsky.
They're cheap too, dude. It's all cheap.
So their core three is locked up. I want to say for around $23 million a year.
Yeah,
The next like 7
that's
years.
phenomenal.
It will pay off, I think. It was a great signing by Kent Hughes, and I think, he'll thrive and start to get his game back. Had a lot of people that I know really be like, wow, what'd you think of the Slavkovsky deal? At this point, man, like who cares? He's just he's like a 20-year-old guy trying to, make a name for himself.
Yeah.
And I think he's gonna do that and thrive under this new deal, and it's gonna be well worth the money now.
Yeah, no, I think it was a great signing. We saw him improve drastically this year, and I think considering how the salary cap is going to continue to rise, and now you have all these not star players. Hold on, let's not get ahead of ourselves. These young players, who are extremely young and now are going to be cheap. So then you're going to have money to splash everywhere else. I mean, dude, it's a phenomenal sign by Kent Hughes, but that doesn't distract. That doesn't distract the fact that he had a really poor offseason this year so far. I was expecting big things from the Habs. I thought they were going to, maybe sign Patty Kane, maybe get like some veterans on that blue line to help with the young core. I thought like a Matt Raw would have been a perfect fit for Montreal Canadiens. I thought a dude like Patty Kane on that forward core, but I mean, he literally signed like no one. And as a Leaf fan, I'm happy, but as a neutral fan, I'm kind of disappointed because I was expecting big things from this Montreal Canadian team. They're starting to grow, like we've seen it. They're starting to grow as a team. Guys are getting older now. They're starting to progress. Caulfield's progressing, Suzuki's progressing, etc. Montembeau. But yeah, I was kind of just disappointed in like
Yeah, and what they did, yeah, because or what they didn't do, sorry. But now here's where I would counter. I think this year,
yeah.
as their players grow, they have to let them play. So I think they're really going to put their faith in their young guys and see what they can do with this young magic. I feel like it's going to be a better season for the Habs.
Okay.
Caulfield will have a better season. Suzuki will be at a point per game averaging. Slavkovsky will have a better year. All these young guys like Kirby Doc, Newhook,
Mhm.
Caulfield, all these guys, they're finally going to get a chance. They don't have a lot of, you don't have as many pieces as they did before. The older guys like Gallagher are starting to play bottom six,
Yeah.
right? They're going to let the young guys go with the help of Matheson, Gallagher, Dvorak, veteran guys in the back, helping these guys out. And
Mhm.
I think they're going to let them play and let them, try and see what they can do as a young team. The only, like I said, the only way they're gonna progress is if they play.
Yeah.
And having a guy like, signing a guy like Marchessault being in the top six, yes, or Patty Kane, yes, it would help, right? But at the same time, it's going to give Caulfield an opportunity to prove himself as a legit, scoring threat.
Yeah.
So I think Ken Hughes is, he should have done a bit more, I think, to help with some, bring in some veterans, but at the same time, allowing these young guys to play and figure it out for themselves is also not a bad thing either.
Mhm.
And I feel like I will say I think the Habs will be better than the Sabres. I'm so sick and tired of the Sabres, man. Like they're just not good anymore. Like, we expected them to have a good future and they're still shit. So for me, I think the Habs will be better than the Sabres, but those two teams are not, ready for playoffs yet. I don't think the Habs will make it this year, but who knows? We did see
Who
a
knows?
huge, heading into the final stretch, right?
Yeah.
But like I said, just a little bit disappointing from Ken Hughes, but I can see why he hasn't, made the right pick yet, especially
Uh-huh.
with all this thing too, term wise and money wise as well. Like a lot of people being overpaid, staying there for a long time. So we'll see. There's still a couple like notable free agents left. So we'll see what Ken Hughes does
Yeah.
to put in the water and maybe get the big fish. But is that it? I really don't think there's any other
I think
you
so.
know thing else. I'm trying to think now. That's pretty much it. I'd say for free agency. Still, we still have 3 months left to go before
True.
we have opening puck drop. But we did get the schedule. There are 4 Montreal Toronto meetings. Justin and I are going to try and go to as many as we can, especially that home opener in Montreal.
Oh yeah.
We definitely want to be there. We might be there. But the ones in Toronto, I know for a fact we can get there.
Yeah.
Ones in Montreal, LA Bleu will be a bit too. But we'll give it a try. You never know. But that's gonna do it for this episode of the AG Sports Podcast. We're almost at episode 100. So congratulations to us for being there consistently or somewhat consistent for
Definitely.
this. Episode one, we're gonna try and make something special out of it. Episode 100 episodes of doing this with my
Crazy.
boy. We've been grinding, doing it. We having fun with it. It's great and all. So we're gonna try and do something special with the 100th episode, which should come out. I don't know. We still got 8 more after this, 8 more. So we'll still have some time, but we're almost there. But that's gonna do it for this episode of DJ Sports Podcast. Like, subscribe, and tell everyone that we told you to tell them to subscribe to our channel. And we're
Yeah.
on the road to 100 subscribers. We're only 40 away. So please subscribe, and we'll see you guys on the next one. Probably Friday, I would say. We get one out Friday. We didn't do one Friday because of Portugal and France
Yeah.
because it's crazy. But yeah, definitely Friday. We're going to talk about Copa America, I would assume, and the Euros. So we'll get
Yes.
back then. Until then, enjoy the rest of your week. Enjoy tomorrow's matchup with Canada, Argentina,
Uh-huh.
and Spain in soccer. And if your NHL team hasn't made a signing yet, look forward to them making a signing sometime soon. So we will see you guys on Friday for the rest of the week. Enjoy, take care, and see you.